Now recorded. Okay. So start with general questions. I got one I want to cover today. We might have a little shorter one today. We have a smaller group, but that's okay. I mean, I'm glad you made it, and I want to answer your questions. Does anybody have any questions or anything they wanted to talk about tonight? I can see you all typing. Everybody's good? You're good? And that's okay if you are. It's not it's not a big deal. They come in bunches, so um you can yes, close to land or oh, congratulations. Okay, so Wayne, congratulations. Please let us know how that goes. I'm excited for you guys. That's awesome. My pleasure. At what stage do people present charges for rent to own? I would say immediately. If you're set up to process to actually run somebody through the process of being qualified, I would say do it immediately. I think some of us make mistakes not charging early because we really want that deal, and it's a lot of work for nothing if you're processing a lot of people. So I would tell you do it right away. It's a great litmus test to see if somebody's serious about doing it. But most people can walk into the bank or to a mortgage broker and get details for free. No. Okay, so could they do that? Yes. I don't know if they could help them the way we could, and that's really not the big reason. If they want to do that on their own, that's fine. If they know they're getting qualified, we're still going to want to qualify them through our own people, and of course, we'll credit that back to their non-refundable option consideration. So it's not like they're paying for it as an initial cost that will be credited back to their non-refundable. You know, so if they've gone somewhere else, if they say to you, you know, we've gone somewhere else, we're qualified, say great, that's awesome. We charge $500 to run through our process, and obviously that $500 will be credited back to your non-refundable. So if you are qualified, that's great to hear. Appreciate it. We still need our guys to vet the deal for us, and that's how we do it. And if you want to send me your initial numbers, I can confirm just quickly, what I think about it, and if we think we can help you. But the process for us is to take that initial cost up front, and this again will be credited back when the non-refundable is drafted. But does that sound fair? Does that sound okay? Yeah, I mean we're not doing that to, it takes time for us, and it's not, to keep it. It's to ensure that if we're running through the process, it's not a waste of our time. And our time is everything, right? It's valuable. So if somebody says they've been pre-qualified, say, great, awesome. This is how it works. Our program works. And again, it's not to keep it from them. It's just to ensure that our time's not wasted. That's great. Wayne, you want to tell us about your deal? While Wayne's typing, anybody else have any questions or anything they want to ask? Everybody's good? Oh, okay, sorry. Waiting for. sir, it's a rent-to-own deal in Fort St. John. We are partnering up with a fellow student, and the project time frame is 3 years. We'll split the profit per annum of 15%. That's awesome. 15 each. Is that what you're each getting? 15? Oh, that's excellent. Good. Awesome. And what kind of financial requirement, if you're okay with sharing that, Wayne? What's the commitment on your end financially? If you're okay with sharing it, you don't have to. You know what? It's okay, Wayne. You know what? Don't worry about it. That's all right. You don't need to share it. We have a number of potential tenant buyers being vetted with our broker. Depending on the volume that come through, we may need some. Okay, yeah, joint venture partners. That's awesome. Yeah, don't worry about it, Wayne. Congratulations. That's awesome. Please let us know when the deal's done, and you can share what details you want. But we're excited for you, so that's awesome. That's fine. You don't have to share that. That's okay. Very excited for you. So please let us know. Okay, so some joint venture opportunities, great. When you have that ready, we'll share it with the group and see, you know, who else we can get involved. Wayne's deal clearly was a partnership, so that's great and exciting, and I think sharing the wealth is awesome and the way to go. When it's necessary, well, not necessary, when it just makes sense, right? It's never bad to share the profit, share the risk, and you know, it allows us to expand our business faster. So that's great to hear. Commitment is about 74K down. I'm trying to secure a HELOC soon, and even with the HELOC, the profit overall drops about 10K, but the return becomes infinite. Yeah, that's right. Excellent. Good job. And you still want to get that HELOC just to have access to that capital. That'd be wonderful. Awesome. That's excellent. Anybody doing anything out in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia? Moncton. No, but I've been very interested in Moncton. Okay. Okay. The cap rates look amazing. Yeah, they do. The cap rates look great. Out east, the cap rates are better. Standard cap rates are better. The couple things that we find in the eastern areas is maintenance and vacancy can create a challenge. Property management, there's lots there, but you want to get the right property management. But the big thing, I think, is vacancy is the one, and the cap rates, typically the cap rates are listed as though they're occupied fully, and that needs to be vetted. But yes, the cap rates are there's lots of opportunity out east. Lots of opportunity out east. I don't know how many of you know Melanie Nubar, but she does business out east. She might know some people out there that might be able to assist. Some contacts out there. It's kind of a backyard for her. She's from there, that area, and maybe we can get her on a call and share some her insight of the eastern market. Yeah, we'll see if we can get that set up. I'll see what I can do. Also, we might also be able to get some other people. I'm going to talk to my broker tomorrow, financial advisor, to see if he can join us next week, and my lawyer. So I'm hoping to get some guests on. If there's somebody that you've been working with that you think would be, you know, good to jump on the call to share with everybody, I'm open to that. I'm totally open to that. We can ask them questions and, you know, and see if there's a benefit to their information. Obviously, I'm not a realtor, mortgage broker, accountant, lawyer. I mean, I love to have these people on to help out. I just want to We don't endorse anybody, obviously, but if somebody you feel is somebody that you found valuable, we can have a conversation about that. Okay, we can let you know of the feedback of our mortgage broker who gets back to us with the New Brunswick, Wayne, if you would like to joint venture. That's great. That's awesome. That's how it's done. Good stuff. Anybody else? Anybody else? Questions? Comments? Okay, let's do something here. Just a second. Look at that. Okay, let's see. Yes, I'd love to learn more. Thanks. Good. Awesome. So let's do let's looking at a deal here. Hold on one sec. I just need to remove something. Okay. All right. Let's do. So I have a deal to review. Kev, you okay with me sharing this with the group? The deal that you're working on? Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, we're looking at a trailer park or motorhome area with some units. The deal was discovered by Kevin, a gentleman who manages it, wants to sell it. There's some opportunity there with, we've been having some discussions with it, Kevin and I, and adding maybe some more units to it to make it profitable. This particular cash flow statement shows it as approached as a Airbnb to see if it's profitable. And the question, becomes, based on the profitability, one of the things that Kev's done research on this and found that most people that, and it is true, most people that do motorhome parks, a lot of them live on site, free, rent free, right, mortgage free, other than the mortgage of the park itself. And that's one of the cost saving measures that's taken in by somebody who takes on a park. Currently, the park has 3 units. The income numbers are there. Or this is actually not income. This is based on Airbnb, right, Kev? Okay. And just curious, Kev, these numbers for the Airbnb, that was brought in through him? He gave you those numbers? Okay. So including the income numbers, right? Yes, the additional income from 4 trailer pads. So, okay, so Kev, these units, these 3 units, this income number that I'm looking at, is that from, that's Airbnb, not rent, right? Yes, Airbnb trails are listed under other. 11,700 for trailer pads. Okay. Additional, those are adding those pads. Is that what you mean, Kev? 11,700 for adding the pads, and you've added that to the overall cost. Is that what you mean? The pads are there and making money currently. Okay. So, Kev, the pads, how many units are on site right now, actually up and running and rented? Is that the 3 we're looking at? Thinking maybe I should bring up the original one, maybe. Let me see. Okay, let's see here. Okay, there are the 3 that are module homes and are Airbnb. He also has 4 trailer pads with trailers that rent for $325 a month. Okay, so the 3 trailer pads that are Airbnb plus the $325 a month, that's what this $59,728 is. Yes? That's what the total income number is, right? All of it. The Airbnb is $59,000. If you add the trailer rentals, you get another 70. You get 71,428 for gross income. And the reason that we're just looking at the income, because when I looked at the original one, you had 36,000 a unit, 3 units. This number, why did you not want to use the 71,428? Because when I was reading your email, you said you were looking at it for just the Airbnb. But I'm wondering, what about the additional rental income? Why is that? Why did you exclude that from this number? It's a bit below 71,428. In the gross income section. Oh, I see it right there. How did that number change? Oh, so it's not summing the numbers. I'm looking at the 59. Okay, so let me see something here. I just want to make sure. 20,000, 60, 71. Okay, it is, give me one second. It is actually including that number, because I can see it from the bottom number where the breakdown is. Got it. Okay, let's do this. Let's bring this back to a sum. Okay. There we go. Okay, all right. Okay, we'll leave it the way it is. 71. So we can see the difference. I guess that would be valuable. Okay, so these are all the expenses. The breakdown. This is very nice. The income versus net operating expense looks good. 80%. He's going to put up 10%. Did you work that out yet, Kev? I know you were talking to him. You met with him and stuff. Or is that an estimate? Okay, so here's the challenge for everybody. The reason that, because this right here, this part here, is wonderful. These are really good. These two numbers look great. 39.4 and 60.8. That breakdown is awesome. So tell me what would be affecting, why is, even with these great numbers, 40, 60 for, 40 for expenses, 60 for income, why is the coverage ratio only 1.4? And these metrics, which are okay, are not great. They should be really good. What's the problem? What are you seeing there, folks? There's a reason those numbers should look better. There's a reason. Who's seeing it? What's causing these numbers? Yep, that's it, interest rate. So to give you an example, if I make this a 4.5 interest rate, the numbers go up. If I make it 4, numbers go up. Coverage ratio is great. Even at, let's see, 4.5, coverage ratio is perfect. 1.2, anything higher than 1.2 is awesome. $200 per unit. GRM is a little bit lower. Cap rate's 6.6. That's not going to change based on that. But let me see something. I want to see something because that's where the cap rate's coming from. That's the expense ratio to the property, right? So 659 versus the 43,000. It's just taking that times 10. If we got this, if we leave that at 5, actually, that would be okay. Any investigation on what you could get for a mortgage for this? What interest rate, Kev? Not yet. Okay, because just to give you an example, if we got 3.5, I mean, it would be pretty big. It's basically $100 more. If we give him, and you know what? If we can get 3.5, let's say we give him 6. That would be, you see that? See, originally we had 5 and 5. Okay, and that's the number it gave us, 148. Just look at the cash flow number for a second, okay? Now, if we can get this down to 3.5, we're at 299. We could get this, we could give him 7 and still be ahead. We could give him 10 and still be ahead, right? Has everybody seen this? Right? The reason is because the 80% is the larger, far larger, and it's going to have a bigger impact. So the interest rate on that first mortgage is going to be the most important thing in the financing component, right? The better the financing we get, the better the cash flow is, because, and the more we can offer the second mortgage for it. So we can basically get back to the same numbers by getting a first mortgage of 3.5 and a second mortgage we could give up to 15. This number is the same as 3.5 and 15 is the same as 5 and 5, basically. Same number. Everybody see that? It's the same number. The larger amount is taking it. Now, I think at this point, Kev, I know you're talking about maybe, passing on this, or should we continue to investigate? I think that the last thing that I would like you to do before you can make a decision on that, before we can make a decision, I'll obviously help you out with that, Kev, is finding out what the financing options are for a property like this. I think that's really the key in this discussion, to make sure that you're buffered and you're safe, ensuring that you're profitable. So maybe that would be our next step, is to just see, let's just see what the financing comes back. We can't change the cap rate. The cap rate's the cap rate, but we'll be okay with the cap rate if the financing comes in into a place that works for us. So let's find out what that first mortgage can be. If we can get 80, or whether it's 65, we don't know. We'll see what the financing is with your broker and see what you can do. And I think that if he could take, if we could put 5% down, if he could do 15 and we did 5, that would be even better for us, in the way of the capital required. Now, obviously, that affected that. You can see what it did to your cash flow. But then we would be looking at, even if we got a 4, and we gave him a 7, we'd be in good shape. This is not terrible. Actually, I can see that at 6.5. Let me see. Maybe 6 because I want to get that coverage ratio. 5.275. I'm trying to get the coverage ratio to 20. There, that's close enough, I guess. That's why that first mortgage, even if I drop that to 3.5, it would be huge. I could go back and give him 7, still get my coverage ratio. So there, that would be nice right there. That's set up. The other option is if we did 75 in the mortgage, or even 65. We did 65, 65, 20, and 10. Oops, 25 and 10. Right there. Okay, let's see what that looks like. There you go. 65 first mortgage at 3.5, second mortgage at 7, and 10% we'll put up, and that would be able to give him 7%, and us to still make $202 per unit. And you know what though? That's deceiving. Wait a minute. This is really 7 units. That's why. And then it goes back to 86, which isn't bad. That 11%, it's right on the edge for cash on cash. Let's see what we can do for the first mortgage. I think that's the best next step. I think, and then we can play around with the numbers and see what makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Anybody, any comments or questions about this deal from anybody? I think the key, and you guys can see, you folks can see that this is a 6 cap rate, 6.6 is a 7 cap rate, and we're still making it work. And that's all a question of financing. We've had lots of discussions about this. The cap rates can be lower if the financing makes sense for us, right? The reason we want that 10 cap rate is to ensure that we can be very flexible with creative financing. If the financing was at 10, let's pretend. So let's say that it was 43,000, say 44,000. 300 and, let's see what this is. This is 43,313. Let's just do this. Equals. I'm just checking. I'm just trying to illustrate. Could have done it the other way. Now let's pretend the cap rate was, say that the price was 43 and the cap rate was 10. Okay? And with the cap rate at 10, to show, just to illustrate what we can do in the way of, look how well these numbers come out, but the way we can really be aggressive with the financing. So let's say that the financing was 5 and 10. Okay? Even at 5 and 10, you know, let's go 15. Even with that, we're still making 110. Our coverage ratio is still good. You know, 5 and 10 with the financing, because we had that 10 cap rate. This 10 cap rate really allows us to be extremely flexible with our financing. So that's why that 10 is so important to us. It gives us more room. That being said, it doesn't have to be 10, right? If we go back to the numbers, which were there, the cap rate was 6.6, which you know, is fine. You know, we can work with that, but the dilemma is that it creates less opportunity for us to work with that creative financing. Any questions, comments, anything? Anybody? To see Kevin and Heidi, they're typing. Anybody else? With the manager that would be living in the unit rent-free, would the amount I'm allocating for management need to change? Well, again, that's going to be a cost based on, you know, based on what for them, right? Now, you might be able to get somebody to live there rent-free, and what you do is you don't let them live there rent-free. They pay rent, and you pay them that amount in a fee, a cost, right? Because it's going to affect your numbers. So you want them to give you income and income on the property, and you pay them as a management fee. So how much would they pay? You said that they rent out for $325. Is that right? Yes, and I took that off the gross income to show that. Okay, so really then, this is 6 units total, right? 3 Airbnb, 4 Airbnb, 3 Airbnb and 3 rentals, yes? And 1 unit for your property management. Okay, so what's the income with that unit? What's the income with that unit? It's another, what, 325 times 12, is that right? Is that what it was, 325? Can't remember. Another 3,900? Okay, so let's put that in there, 3,900. So what's the number now? I'm just bringing up my calculator. If you got it, give me the number. What's the new number? It's 3,900 plus 71428. 75. I got 75. 3. Yep. So yep, I put 75. 328 in there. That's what I would do there, and that's going to affect our numbers for sure. And then what I would do is I would go, let's see, so let's see, 3,900. So that'd be 5 minus 3 minus 941. 600. So we might actually be able to go to 14. Let's drop it 100, maybe 13. 3, maybe 13.5. Okay, what I'm doing, folks, by the way, is I'm imagining that the person is paying me $325 a month, and I'm paying him $847 for property management, which is 13.5%, which ends up being, in this case, we might be able to go a little lower, free rent plus $600 for property management. Does everybody see that? Does that make sense? So we're saying, look, you pay your rent, $325, and we'll pay you an additional $600. $500, $525 to manage the property. That's the way I would run the numbers on it. Now you're going to come out relatively the same, right? You came out relatively the same with your numbers, but we want the income number as an income number. We want that to be income. Well, obviously, if we have somebody on site, and that's the other thing you have to consider. Could you pay someone $1,000? What if we, instead of giving that to someone on site, $847, because that's what it comes down to. Could I pay a property management company $847 a month to manage the property not being on site? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? If the cost of management on site is $850, them paying me rent, and I'm giving them $850, whether they use that for the rent or not really is inconsequential. But that would be the same as me saying to a property management company, I'll pay you $850 to manage this property per month. Does everybody understand that? The cost is the cost, right? Yeah, the cost is the cost. So whatever I'm willing to pay the individual on site, I have to consider, you know, can I get more value about just renting it out, let the person rent it out, and me just get professional property management. Now, that is not to say that you're going to opt for professional property management. It's not, having someone on site is great too, right? So it's really a question of, what direction we want to go to, and the way we can establish that direction is always going to be the numbers, in my view. Initially, you can't really make those decisions without the numbers. Same thing with our financing on this deal. We want to know what our financing numbers are before we can truly assess, the impact of financing versus the cash flow, the income. So let's run the numbers with the income as it is, as though we were hiring property management outside. Whether we decide to allocate those dollars to on-site or not is up to us. But knowing the cost of it, Kev, I think is the most important thing. What are you willing to give up to have somebody manage that property? Forget about the. Obviously, you can offer someone, say, look, they're basically on site. The money you're going to give them. So same thing as saying rent free. Rent is included, and $500 would be the same as $825, right? So the way you pose the ad would be, any way you want. But at the end of the day, the income, we'd want the income to come in to the property from the person. Then it becomes a question of, can I spend that $850 better to manage the property? So those are the two things that we can look at moving forward. Is a property management company looking at their costs of managing it properly, right, versus on-site, and also the financing, I think, is what we want to do next steps on this particular deal. And then, Kev, we can figure out. I mean, if it's a good deal for us, then let's move forward. If not, we can pass on and go on to the next one. Each one of these times, and I know you and Heidi are hustling, and it's awesome. It's a lot of work and stuff that you've been putting in. You're learning from each one of these experiences, and if you keep planting those seeds, deals are going to start coming through. Okay, any other questions, Kev? Heidi? Of course, anybody else who has any questions? Okay, yeah, no worries, Kev. Yep, let me know. Let me know. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, Kevin, and the other thing, and we'll share this deal if it makes sense. We'll have a discussion, Heidi and Kevin, and see if there's an opportunity to share this deal or do a joint venture if that makes sense for them. But when that time comes, we'll cross that bridge. Let's look at the financing and lock down some numbers and be better able to evaluate it. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I'm going to walk away from this deal. Anybody else? We're good. Okay. There we go. Okay, we are back to our main screen. Anybody else have any questions? It's 10 after 9. We can wrap up a little bit earlier if you'd like. If there's no more questions, we can do that. But I'm open, to answer any questions if anybody has. Looks like Wayne's typing something, but not sure. Anybody else have any questions? If not, if you're good, type in Y for yes. All good, 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 good stuff. Okay, I think we're good for this week. Oh, wait. After choosing my accountant, mentioned we would need to complete a bare trust agreement to make sure the beneficial ownership is transferred from my person's name to my company. Are you familiar with this process? Well, Wayne, I don't, and I don't want to overstate what I understand and know about accounting. And I don't know if that's necessary, but I'd rather you take the advice of your accountant. Really, the assignment should address that, but I don't want to overstate again. So, you know, I want you to do. This is why I want all of you, you know, to work with professionals. You know, yeah, I don't. A simple assignment. Have you asked Wayne just why an assignment clause in the agreement wouldn't just allow you to do that? Is he trying to transfer it after purchase? Because that's what it looks like. I can understand if he was trying to do it after purchase, but we do that before purchase. Okay, so this is what I would say, Wayne. Transparency, I think, is the most important thing in doing business. One of the most important things in doing business. So I would just say to your mortgage broker, I would like you to let people know or find lenders that understand what I'm doing. Now, if they can't find any lenders, they can't, which is odd. But anyways, that's another discussion. But you let the lender know that the mortgage is going to be signed in your name. So you're going to take care of the mortgage, Wayne. You're still going to be the person holding the mortgage, but the ownership of the property is going to be with the corp. Now, if that's a problem or challenge with the lenders you're working with, I could totally understand. And I want you to work with your people, your power team. You know, if that's the process that they believe is best for you, I don't see anything wrong with it personally myself. I think it's the approach is after the fact, before the fact, right? So just ask them about it and see if the option of, you know, assigning it on close, the day of or day before close, day before really close, you know, you're going to assign it to your corporation, you're going to hold the paper in your name. And if that's a problem for the lenders you want to work with, I can totally understand why your accountant and mortgage broker are looking at that kind of option. That being said, again, folks, not an accountant, not a mortgage broker. I want you to work with those professionals once you've established those relationships to move you forward, okay? My pleasure, my pleasure. Okay, we're going to close it up. I want everyone, please continue doing what you're doing and come back next Tuesday as those deals start to come in and options start coming in for the properties you're working on. Please share it. We really appreciate it. I love that we share it as a group, and let's all move forward in the same direction, helping each other the way we can while we're helping ourselves. Okay. All right. So we are good now. Yes. My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, I love this. I love doing this. I love seeing you guys. You know, keep learning. It's awesome. I'm excited for all of you. So please keep pushing forward on and know that you're learning and doing this for the rest of, you know, you're trying to make an impact for the rest of your life and your family's life and your community, and depending on how significant you want to be, this is all important. What you're doing is important work, and